All right, Stephen Key here, and once again, I have a very special guest, Paul. Paul's brought to market a great product, and he's going to talk all about it. So I'm going to let Paul just jump in. Paul, you're an inventor? Yes, no? Let's start there.
Well, yeah, it's really funny. I've never really considered myself an inventor. Until I was talking to my wife the other day, and I said, "Well, I guess I am. I came up with a successful product and made a successful business around it. So I wouldn't consider it my primary gig. I kind of consider myself more of an e-commerce specialist.
Okay.
But I came up with a great invention that happened to sell very well.
Well, let's talk about it because your product is called the CozyPhones.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, tell me how that started, because I just went to your website. Very nice, and you have a lot of different types for kids and for people that are active. I mean, it's really a cool thing. So how did it start, and where is it today?
Well, it started about 4 years ago. In 2015, I decided to give selling on Amazon a shot, and I was actually just looking in the beginning, looking to resell or private label a product that was already out there. And I came across a product that I had used in the past, sleeping headphones. I used Alibaba to find a supplier of those, and I did a brief or a small order of these very generic black headband headphones. And
no, wait a minute, stop. Sleeping headphones. Explain that to me.
Okay, so I should show you my adult version of the sleep headphones. Here's one of them. This is my patriotic version. Okay, and this is a headband headphone, which has thin speakers inside. So these are kind of 1/8 inch thin speakers. These go inside the headband, and so you can lay down on your side, listen to music at night. You can sleep with them on if you like to listen to podcasts, or just, sometimes that environmental music, meditation music, whatever. So that's the basic concept, was sleep headphones. And I got a very kind of a generic version of those.
Okay.
And I had some success in the beginning by doing more different colors, different patterns that were available, as well as implementing the techniques that I had learned from taking this Amazon selling course.
Okay.
And so that worked out nicely. Then one time I was doing a photo shoot with my photographer, and she put my headphones on her 10-year-old daughter.
Okay.
And that was my little aha moment, going, oh, wow, maybe this would be good for kids. So I took that concept of a kid's character headband headphone, had my daughter drop the first design. Matter of fact, I got to show you my sophisticated drawing here.
Okay.
This is the first design there from my daughter, who's an art student now.
Okay.
And we made our first CozyPhones in a frog style. And that was the first time anybody had taken that concept and made it for kids.
Okay.
So really, we took an existing concept, modified it for a whole new audience, and then we turned out that we solved lots of problems we didn't even know existed. Like kids, younger kids, 3, 4, 5 years old, they really don't like regular over-the-ear headphones.
Okay.
They get hot and sweaty, uncomfortable, and they really can't tolerate earbuds.
Okay.
They also, kids like to lay down. Well, you can't really lay down with regular headphones on and not earbuds either. So we solved that problem. When it comes to travel, parents love CozyPhones for travel because you'll basically do anything to help your kids be comfortable when you're traveling, right?
Okay.
So that was the beginning of the character headband headphones, CozyPhones. We are patent pending. This is a process. Oh boy, it's gone on forever. We do have some knockoff competitors out there, but if you want to look us up, it's CozyPhones.com. In order to kind of protect ourselves from these knockoffs along the way, we became a licensee. So I had some advice early on to seek licensing.
Okay.
So this is one of my licensed products and that's, of course, from Paw Patrol.
Okay.
We've got a license with Nickelodeon for Paw Patrol. We've got a fun one coming out this fall. You recognize that guy?
Yep.
That's through a partner of ours with Batman. So I had to kind of get myself educated up on the whole licensing business. And you'll recognize this guy here, Elmo. So where we do have difficulties with folks knocking off my designs, they're not so willing to go to try to knock off a Sesame Street or a Batman.
So that's a way of protecting yourself, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Exactly. That's the reason we went down that road. And of course, now we're not only appealing to people who like CozyPhones, but appealing to people who like, Sesame Street CozyPhones. So if you're, looking for Sesame Street gifts on Amazon, for example, then, we're going to pop up where you might not even know we existed before.
So, Paul, tell me, how hard was it to get a license? Was that hard for you or not?
Yes, it is hard. I sometimes speak at some Amazon conferences and so forth about the licensing business. My first license was with a children's book author, a character called the What If Monster. And that was a very kind of small license, but easy to do. It was the author, between a license agreement between the author and me, that's fine. When it comes to working on a license like Nickelodeon, obviously, there's a lot more hoops to jump through. The contracts get a lot bigger. The lawyer involvement gets a lot bigger. The minimum guarantee gets a lot bigger.
So some of the basic terms I've mentioned to people, the basic terms when you have a product yourself and you're licensing out, or in your situation, you're manufacturing and you're licensing in the brand, they're pretty much the same terms. There's minimum guarantees, royalty rates, performance clauses, things like
Advance.
that. Of course.
Exactly. No, it's really, it's just kind of turned around a little bit in terms of, who's on each end of that deal.
That's right. Okay.
And I've also become a licensor before. We had another toy manufacturer already selling into big box who wanted to license CozyPhones to go into retail.
Okay.
It wasn't successful, but we did do it.
So that's very interesting. Are you selling a lot of them? I mean, you must be. If you're licensing those big brands, you must be selling some volume.
Yeah, well, you have to have some volume to be able to, obtain a license like that.
Okay.
So we started in 2015 from zero, and I'll just say that we've sold over $10 million worth since that time.
Okay.
In retail sales, and I sell mostly direct to consumer.
Okay.
And so that's hundreds of thousands of units.
Okay. How do you how do you stop the knockoffs if you don't have a license? Do you track them down? I mean, are they copying your trademark? I mean,
so if it's blatant trademark copying, or counterfeiting on Amazon, because that's my primary channel, then Amazon, I'm in a program called Brand Registry, where we have to, show our brand and our trademark and all that. Amazon will defend us as long as we have the IP to convince them. So if we can show somebody out that is using the term CozyPhones, or in one case, I had a competitor calling themselves Kozzy.
Okay.
And we were actually able to knock them out off Amazon because they're really just trying to trade off of our name recognition.
How important is copyright your images?
I think it's very important, but I started officially registering all my images, but it's not necessary on Amazon. In fact, Amazon, if you're brand registry, you can submit your images to their engine, and it'll actually search for people using your images.
Are they very helpful? Because sometimes I hear a lot of these terrible stories about Amazon not being helpful. Are they helpful to you?
There are times when they're not helpful at all, and there are times when they're very helpful.
Okay.
Amazon is one of the most amazing platforms for entrepreneurs, I believe. That they've broken down the borders of bringing a product to market.
Okay.
When a guy from his home office can do these kind of numbers, it's crazy.
So you're not typically, you're selling direct to the consumer. So you're not so much in retail environments, correct?
No, I'm still working on that.
Okay.
But my sweet spot has been Amazon.com. I am on Walmart.com. I'm on CozyPhones.com.
Okay.
And, I bring I bring everything in from overseas manufacturing, and I sell on different online channels, and I fulfill both from Amazon and from my own warehouse.
Okay. So you already knew you had something because you were selling, what is it called, white label? You were selling a product that already exists.
Yeah, private label.
Private label, and then you came back and you saw an opportunity to brand it, to really take it to a whole nother level, and that's what you did with the licensees. Very smart, Paul. Very smart.
Thanks. I feel very fortunate.
Is there anything that you would, if someone else was going down the same path that you just took, any advice you'd give anybody?
Boy, you really have to self-educate yourself if you're going to be on Amazon. You can't just put a product on Amazon and expect it to be successful, even if it's a great product.
Okay.
You have to, Amazon is a search engine for products, right? Okay. So you need to not only have a great product, but you have to educate yourself on how to properly present that product on Amazon, right? Okay. And then the whole manufacturing thing is another huge challenge. I've been to China twice.
Okay.
I have manufacturing consultants who I work with.
Okay.
It's not as daunting as some people might think to actually create a product from scratch and then get it into the U.S. and sell it.
Okay. What was I going to ask you? What about creating demand? You'd mentioned that Amazon's really a search engine. How do you create demand so people can find you?
Well, the bottom line is you have to show up in search results. So, if you search for kids' headphones right now, you're going to find me in the first couple of pages of search results. But you're probably going to see me in sponsored ads first, because that's a way to force myself in front of someone who's looking for a search term. Okay. So on Amazon, you can use their platform, their advertising platform, to display your product for particular search results.
Is that expensive?
It can be. I think we talk about we use a term called ACOS, and that's advertising cost of sales.
Okay.
So a lot of times people are hoping to break even on a sale. So I might be getting, say, 40% ACOS on the retail price of my product. My goal is to get in front of the customer and sell a product based on the keywords that they're searching for, because that gets me ranking in the system.
Okay.
And so it may elevate me a couple of spots, and if I get enough people doing that, then Amazon is going to learn from that, and they're going to present me in the top results.
Got it. So let's talk about, are you looking for products from people?
Oh, that's a scary question to ask on this forum, isn't it?
Well, it can be.
It can be. Yeah, of course. One of the things how we connected again was through LinkedIn. Reconnected. I've been a student in the past, and I said, hey, I know that you have a lot of smart people out there, and I would love to find complementary products that we can present to basically the same demographic in the toy sector. To team up with the right people, and of course we're going to be very selective.
Of course.
Team up with the right people to bring new products to market.
Okay. And how would people find you, Paul?
I think the best way is going to be to connect with me on LinkedIn.
Okay.
The best way to do that is just look up Paul Miller CozyPhones. You'll see there. Send me a friend request. or a connection request. I'll definitely connect with you there.
Okay.
And I can imagine that there's going to be a slew of inquiries, and I can guarantee that if someone presents a product that we're interested in, we'll definitely get back to them. If it's a product that doesn't fit our needs, they may not get a response.
Got it. Okay, good.
Or I'll at least try to give them a quick thank you anyway.
Okay, what do they need? One last question. What would you like to see? Would you like to see a prototype, a video, or a sell sheet? What do you need to see to evaluate it?
I think a sell sheet would be great. To understanding the concept and how it would also how it fits our market, the CozyPhones, for example. I'll give you a great idea of a complementary product that we created, and it's called the Cozy Case, and it's a tablet case for kids, right? And this tablet case can be used in the car, can be used at home to carry your goodies around in.
Okay.
It can also be used as a tabletop flipped over.
Okay.
So that's a great complementary product for us that we can offer to the same audience who has already purchased our products.
Perfect. Paul, thank you very much for sharing your story. I've kind of followed it for a while. You've done a fantastic job, and you're right. If I'm traveling and I have those big headphones on, my ears hurt after a while, and I cannot lay back without that thing bothering me when I'm in the window seat. So do you have anything for guys like me, adults? I mean, you have adults now, right?
100%. You know, I could send you the patriotic ones. We have Bluetooth. We've got them made of different kinds of materials. I'll send you a couple of samples, and next time you're on, maybe I'll see you wearing CozyPhones. I just want to say, Stephen, your group is inspiring. I love watching your videos. I've kind of made a commitment to myself to get more. I'm very involved in the e-commerce community, but I want to start getting involved in the inventor community also.
Okay, good. Paul, thank you very much for coming on. And everybody, if you're watching this video and you think you've got a great product that's going to complement the CozyPhones, please contact Paul Miller, CozyPhones, LinkedIn. He wants to see what you have. Paul, thank you very much.
Thank you, Stephen.